Welcome to the town board meeting of January 5th, 2023. I'd like everyone to stand for a pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'd like to begin tonight by welcoming Mr. Brandon Calori to the town board. Look forward to working with him. And Desrick, please administer the oath of office to Councilman Calori.
Okay, so you just repeat after me. However you want to do it. I can hold it. Got it? Okay. You just repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Brandon Calori,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of
Town Council
Town Council
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
All right, so what I'm going to do at this time is I'm going to pause for a few moments. This way, if Brandon's family would like to take a few photos with him, and then if they'd like to step out, if they'd like to leave, they can take the regular minutes at the meeting. So you guys want to have some? What's that?
There won't be anybody.
You're welcome to stay. If there's any pictures that you want to take or anything you want to take.
Take some with your mom and dad?
Yes.
Yeah, take some pictures.
Take a quick picture, yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Maybe you want to look by the flag?
By the flag?
All four of you go.
Just don't take my firearm on me. I didn't want to take off my jacket because I don't have my shield hanging.
Move the podium if you need to.
It's my baby, it's fine. You just have it. I'll take this break.
Yeah. So all them iPhones do that, I'm sure, so it doesn't matter. I'm sure that iPhone does that.
Oh, there's a setting, yeah.
Good?
Right?
Very nice. I'm focused on you.
Somebody gotta take over. Somebody take charge. Just today. Tomorrow could change.
I like the styling going on.
Don't need that friggin' haircut. Stop.
That's a good thing.
Very, very, very unprofessional.
Jeff, is that on?
Oh. Hope they didn't hear that one. You just go up and down to the side. That thing always said to you. Yeah, I got something to say. What? I think that was hilarious.
Put those cute kids in.
Hey,
You over and the other.
you know, in the morning you gotta go over to work on it.
Yes, this is the last thing.
My wife has them somewhere. I don't have to mess with it.
I know.
I don't have to work with anybody.
Okay? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, you should.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay.
Yeah, watch the step, yeah.
Watch the step going
Watch
out.
the step going out, yes. Yeah. That's all we've done all building. Watch the step going out.
We will. Watch your step there, Brandon.
Got it, girl? Okay.
Yeah, well, now we know it's done. Hopefully I stopped that.
Just like that.
Watch the step, guys, going out.
Say bye. Bye. Thank you.
That's all I have to go.
That's what you said.
You'll have to be here next.
Next year.
All right, everybody, so we'll continue now. Again, Brandon, congratulations.
Thank you.
We're gonna move on to a public hearing, introductory local law 3 of 2022, to repeal local law 2. Desiree, please read the public hearing notice.
Public hearing is being held, entertain public comments on introductory local law 3 of 2022, which would repeal local law 2 of 2022 entitled Tax Cap Override. The public notice was printed in the Times Herald Record on December 29th, 2022.
Okay, since the adopted 2023 budget was under the state-imposed tax cap, the local law previously adopted is no longer needed and should be repealed. Does anybody from the public have any comments to make regarding this local law? Okay, I need a motion and a second to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, I need a motion and a second to adopt local law 1 of 2023.
Make a motion.
Second.
Brandon, Laura was second.
Sorry, who seconded it?
Brandon.
Brandon?
Local law 1.
It's local law 1 of 2023. You're adopting it in 2020. Correct?
Okay, yes. Desiree, you wanna conduct a roll call?
What is local law 1?
The one you just adopted.
Oh, okay. That's local law 3, it said, okay.
No, it says it's introductory local law.
Oh, okay.
Now it's adopted local law 1.
Ah, okay.
Okay?
Sorry.
That's,
No.
that's okay, I was confused by your question, I apologize. Councilman Kalori. Aye or nay?
Aye.
Is it on?
So, that's all.
Are the digits lit up? No, okay.
Aye.
There you go. There you go. Councilman Finnegan.
We'll work out the bugs.
Councilman Luciani.
Aye.
Councilman Etzel.
Aye.
Supervisor Burke.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, motion passed. Okay, I also, I'm moving on, I have a comment to make. Before we move forward with the immediate agenda, I would like to pause for a moment to recognize the recent passing of former county legislator Roxanne Donnery. Roxanne was the first Democrat to chair the county legislature, which proves how respected she was by members of all political parties. She was a believer and supporter of grassroots efforts, often the person taking the lead, especially for issues that impacted Woodbury. She also was a representative that made sure her constituents were informed of what was happening on the county level. She attended town board meetings frequently, not just during election time. She was a friend and supporter of my father during his tenure also. She will be greatly missed by all. Okay, so, I know there is a post that her funeral, a mass is going to be Monday in Highland Falls, Sacred Heart.
10 o'clock.
10 to 10 a.m., yes. Okay, hold on, Kate, do you have any other information for that you'd like to share? Did you, no, I think it's 10 a.m.
Yeah, 10 a.m. That's okay.
All right, we'll move on to public comment on agenda items. Does anyone have any, anyone from the public have comments that, they would like to make regarding the agenda this evening? Okay. Moving on to 2023 reorganization meeting, appointment of deputy town supervisor. I'd like to make a motion and ask for a second to appoint Desiree Poppin as deputy town supervisor. I would like to note that at the request of Desiree, no compensation will be made for this position. So I need a motion and a second. I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And motion passed. Meetings, official newspaper mileage and food reimbursement. Can I have a motion and a second to hold regular meetings of the town board in the town hall on the first and third Thursdays of each and every month at 7:30 PM, and hold work sessions at 6:30 PM before each town board if necessary?
Make the motion.
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion and a second to designate the Times Held Record as the official newspaper for the town of Woodbury to reimburse officials, employees the rate of .65 per mile when they use their own vehicle for official town business, and to permit a maximum food allowance of $75 per day for officials, employees that attend conferences. Alcoholic beverages will not be reimbursed. Councilman Finnegan, you wanna use the Times Held Record?
I have no problem with that. Yeah, I believe that's the only paid paper, right?
Correct.
It's the only paid paper in circulation in Woodbury, yes it is,
Okay.
Councilman Finnegan.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Investment, can I have a motion and second to adopt the investment policy for 2023 as presented?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. Any discussion?
Yeah, it says all accounts shall be collateralized 105%. The don't really name it, we're investing in T-bills, treasury bills, that has to be, so we should check that.
Alright, so you wanna, I don't believe it's gonna keep it. So,
Or CDs that are under the $250,000 limit. The reason the banks are collateralized 105% is because they're only insured up to $250,000 per account. So we need to get a clarification from, I guess, from the controller,
Or your attorney, I would say.
attorney.
I can answer that question.
alright, so why don't we table that tonight? Can we table this
And I don't
tonight?
have
We
a
can
problem.
table the investment policy.
Investment policy tonight? Okay, then we'll move on then to, everybody else, we're good, everybody's in agreement with that, we'll hold on, okay.
Just so I have it correct for the minutes and so that Joe understands what he's looking into. Tyler, you believe that for collateralization requirements relating to T-bills and CDs, you said? I'm sorry.
The other, the two new people we have in, I believe, they invest in government, US government bonds, and so they're not collateralized 105% because they're backed by the US government. When you put your money in a bank, it's only guaranteed by the bank except for $250,000, which the government, FDIC insured. So that's why the money we have in our banks have to be collateralized to 105%.
Okay, so, again, you want the attorney to look into making, to figure out the percentage amount for investing in US government bonds.
Or we have to call the controller, I guess, and find out, or
Yeah.
isn't that who we talk to?
Yeah, sure.
So we're gonna table the investment policy for
Yes, tonight we'll take it.
or we can adopt it and then amend it.
Can we-
maybe.
Alright, you
Maybe
wanna
we
do
should
that?
do
Yes,
that
why don't we
in
do
the meantime, so
that?
we don't
So
waste
then-
2 weeks.
Right,
Adopt it and then you can always amend it at the next meeting.
okay,
potentially.
that sounds good, okay, I'll make a motion then.
I'll second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We'll have adjustment for our next one.
Mhm.
All people can- okay. We'll move on to our appointments. I need a motion and a second to appoint Philip Sabatelli to the Parks and Recreation Committee with a term due to expire 12/31/2029, and Ladice Mendoza to the Parks and Recreation Committee with a term due to expire 12/31/2024.
She's not dressed as nice as she was last time.
I'll make that motion.
You were so beautiful. You had that gown on and you were shimmering.
Christmas
And you didn't
party.
even see me in person.
I know. You're more beautiful in person.
I won't disappoint next time, on our next event.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
Anything else? I know that, I met Ladice this summer, dropping off her young child at the parks, summer parks, camp. and she's just a terrific lady. I think she's gonna be an awesome addition to it now that Brandon has stepped off, and so that's good.
Well,
It's great
she's
to see.
dedicated, she left a nice party to come talk to us.
I'm excited, thank you.
Thank you. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Regarding the appointment to library board, I'd like to table this also tonight for further discussion with Attorney McKay and Attorney Klein session after the meeting, after this meeting. Okay? All right? And then moving on, I need a motion, a second, to appoint Maria Hunter to the beautification committee with a term due to expire 12/31/2029.
Make a motion.
I'll second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
motion passed. I need a motion second to appoint Janice Groth to the Board of Assessment Review with a term due to expire 9/30/2027. I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Very good, Kate. And any other discussion with that? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I need a motion second to designate, these are for the consultants now, and second to designate Joseph McKay with the law firm Catania, Mahan and Ryder as general legal counsel. What do you think, Tyler?
I don't know, I'll make that.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Need a motion second to designate Garrow and Deutsch as engineers for the town. Motion.
I'll second.
I will second. Any discussion for engineer? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion, second to designate Thomas McDonough with the law firm Jackson Lewis as labor attorney.
Make that motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I need a motion, a second to grade the committee assignments as presented.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. Now we have procurement policy. I need a motion second to adopt the procurement policy as presented.
Make a motion.
I'll second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion a second to approve the 2023 fee schedule as presented. Any discussion? No, I'm sorry, I need a motion a second first. Fee schedule.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, I'll second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Okay. That's like the real administrative business. Acceptance of the minutes. Can I have a motion and a second to accept the receipt of the minutes of the meeting held December 15th, 2022?
Make the motion.
Okay, Brandon.
I'll second.
Brent,
I don't think Brandon can do that.
I'll make a motion.
Well, he received them, did you not receive them?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and you were here?
Mhm.
Brandon, we'll try to keep up with you. Can I have a motion and a second to accept the receipt of the minutes of the meeting held December 29th, 2022?
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, any discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. And the approval of the abstract, Desiree, could you read abstract 24?
Revised abstract 24 is voiding voucher 222234, check number 26687, in the amount of $4,206.86, which reduces the total of the abstract to be $425,457.74. And this is probably something Brendan should not vote on since it was from last year.
Last year, okay. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the abstract as read?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
And Brandon will abstain, yes?
Abstain.
Desiree, could you also read abstract number 1?
This is the new abstract for 2023. It's abstract 1 containing vouchers 230001 through 230040, voiding check number 26723, which was voucher number 23010, totaling $121,009.40.
Can I have a motion and a second to to approve the abstract as read.
Make a motion.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The budget modification, 2022 budget. Bridget, can you read the modification for the 2022 budget?
Sure. The first is for various general fund appropriations by increasing A 1620.446, community center propane by $60.32. A 1620.423, safety equipment by $267.55. A 7110.200, parks equipment by $48.41. A 1620.493, historical library by $200. A 7110.482, trees by $756.76. Decreasing A 1620.432, PPE supplies by $467.55. Increasing A 1650.401, central telephone by $220. Decreasing A 7110.423, holiday supplies by $48.41. A 1620.412, electrical work by $60.32. A 7110.465, first responders day by $756.76. Increasing A 1220.101, compensated absences by $2,300. Decreasing A 1220.430, supervisor travel and transportation by $600. A 1220.445, readings by $895. A 1910.800, retirement by $805. A 1930.400, judgments and claims by $220. Increasing A 3510.403, heating and oil by $573.07. Decreasing A 3510.416, uniforms by $573.07. Increasing A 1620.469, kitchen food supplies by $678. A 7620.405, activities by $300. Decreasing A 7620.400, contractual expenses by $160. A 7620.411, office supplies by $720.89. A 7620.200, equipment by $677.74. Increasing A 2089, other cultural recreation income by $2,700. A 7620.414, trips by $3,750. A 2401, interest and earnings by $469.37. The next is for the library, by increasing L 7410.200, equipment by $3,500. L 7410.407, legal by $5,000. L 7410.401, telephone by $1,000. L 7410.402, electricity by $3,000. L 7410.435, books by $2,000. L 9060.800, health insurance by $9,600. And decreasing L 7410.464, equipment maintenance by $3,500. L 7410.100, personnel services by $7,000. L 7410.410, building maintenance by $4,000. L 7410.411, office supplies by $1,000. L 7410.202, automation by $1,000. L 9060.801, HRA MVP, health insurance by $7,600. And the last is for the general fund by increasing A 4089, federal aid other, by $125,000. A 1620.479, CDBG ADA Doors Senior Library by $125,000. Would you like me to read?
Yes.
Did I miss one?
I'll make a motion.
Most of the just so you know, most of the modifications were recognized over expenditures on specific line items that are common at this time, right? Last year we did the same thing. The modification for the ADA doors at the senior center, library, are to recognize the $125,000 grant, the funds that we received. Any other discussion? Oh, I need a motion, I'm sorry, I need a motion.
Tyler made a motion.
Tyler,
Second.
Tim made the second. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Brandon, are you?
Abstaining.
Thank you.
Moving on, the acceptance of resignation retirement of Nicholas Seymour. I need a motion and a second to accept his resignation. Seymour from the position of part-time dispatcher effective immediately. The letter was dated December 22nd, 2022.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I have a new item, I have, from the Buildings and Grounds, a groundskeeper, full-time position, for Dominic Vigalotti, at a starting rate of $28.85, and a starting date of January 16, 2023. This is to fill the part-time, retirement of Bobby Blair. So, I need a motion and a second for this position.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
So it's four.
Yep.
Okay, new business. New York Class Municipal Cooperation Resolution. Desiree, could you please read the resolution prepared by New York? Oh, I'm sorry. My mistake. I'm gonna step back under old business. I need authorization for myself to sign the Jewish Family Services 2023 Memorandum of Agreement. I need a motion second to authorize myself to sign this, for the Jewish Family Services for the administration of the Friendly Visitors Program for 2023 at a cost of $8,000. Need a motion and a second.
With the, that typo I told you about, was all taken care of?
Yes, it's not, it will be reflected tomorrow, yes. I'll make the motion, and I need a second.
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion?
Yeah, we just got paperwork today to see whether they were actually we're paying $3,000 for them to get volunteers, and looks like they got two new volunteers.
So this is a program that we have, just so you know, this is a program that we provide for the public. One of their responsibilities, like Tyler was saying, is that they have to go out and actually solicit for volunteers. So this way, if there's a senior in our community that needs assistance with rides or anything to that effect, they reach out to this Jewish Family Services, these people, and this group that we hired. And from there, they schedule their appointments through them, and they get their
Right.
rides. We were very successful the last few years with it. Neil
Krause
like Kate just said,
did
Neil
most of
Krause
the
did
work,
most of the work.
But we had hired, paid an extra $3,000 to the service to have them come in to the senior center to get new volunteers. And I know there was several months in the beginning that they didn't show up, and I don't know whether they showed up after that.
They did, they were showing up at the senior center, once, I believe they were scheduled to come twice a month, yeah.
Okay.
So we have to decide so what you're asking is, for now, what you're bringing up for discussion is, do we go with the $8,000?
Or the $5,000.
Or the $5,000.
I think the service is great, that we have the service for the people, but we can try it another year.
Tyler, you said there was only 2 that was obtained, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
I believe, according to these records, one of the things I saw, there was no improvement in it, but on this one, it shows that they picked up one person in February and one person in May.
Can I ask a question? Do they have to go to the senior center to solicit volunteers, or can they maybe go
They-
to the parks or something? Because the senior community is probably the community who uses the
They
most.
were,
This
they
is-
were supposed to go everywhere, it wasn't, it was I think it was the easiest thing for them to do. I don't know I doubt they went to the parks, it would probably be a better place to go.
No, what
That's
they,
just my suggestion.
no, what happened was, to add to that, they had done certain areas, they had reached out to me and said, can I try Jay's Deli, for example? The Central Valley Library, they were there. I know they came there one afternoon, I was there with them. So they did search out different locations in Woodbury in an attempt to not only be an assistance to the seniors, just to say that they could be seen, to also recruit.
Right,
Yeah. which is the, who's up there?
It was for both sides, yes.
So this
Well,
is.
if they've been
this-
coming, then that's all right, but I know in the beginning, there was some issues with them actually showing up, and then they said they'd make it up.
Well, the
They're
one.
spotty with their records.
What I was able to, pull up for tonight, they went from 20 to 25, right?
With number of people that they're serving.
So it's showing an increase in the people that are using this.
Okay.
As far as the volunteers are concerned, it is a major obstacle that they face. I saw Neil Kraus, he was terrific with this program.
Yes, he was great. And,
He's also concerned about it also, and he's saying the volunteers, it's just hard,
it's hard to
There
get.
aren't volunteers on it.
you know? So, my recommendation now we're talking about, I think we should give it to this year, another $8,000 try, and see what we can do with it coming up. And then if not, then we drop it to 5. I don't think we should eliminate it.
No, I don't think we should eliminate the program, I just. Okay.
Okay, so,
I'll
I
second.
have a motion, you already have a motion in a second.
we got a motion second, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, for the 8,000. Okay, thank you. Alright, so move on to new business. New York class, municipal, cooperation resolution. As we can do.
Whereas New York General Municipal Law, Article 5-G, Section 119-O, parentheses, Section 119-O, parentheses, empowers municipal corporations, parentheses defined in Article 5-G, Section 119N, to include school districts, boards of cooperative education services, counties, cities, towns, and villages, and districts, and parentheses, to enter into, amend, cancel, and terminate agreements for the performance amount themselves, or one or the other, of their respective functions, powers, and duties on a cooperative or contract basis, whereas the town of Woodbury wishes to invest portions of its available investment funds in cooperation with other corporations and or districts pursuant to the New York Class Municipal Corporation Agreement, amended and restated as March 28th, 2019, whereas the town of Woodbury wishes to satisfy and liquefy needs of their funds. Now therefore, it is hereby resolved as follows, that Thomas J. Burke, Supervisor / Chief Fiscal Officer of the town of Woodbury, is hereby authorized to participate in the New York Class Program under the terms of the New York Class Municipal Corporation Agreement, amended and restated as of March 28th, 2019.
I just wanna say that, working very well with, our chief, our senior account clerk, Eileen Sutherland, she does an outstanding job for us. And of course, working closely with Tyler, it's really beneficial for me also to have him with me, so with this. So I thought before we, move forward with a motion, that I asked Tyler if we have to explain a little further about this new class.
This New York class is offering a considerable amount more interest than what we can get from the bank. So if we put a portion of our money in New York class, which invests in overnight deposits and T-bills, short-term treasuries, we can increase our yield on our money about 25%. So we decided to move some to that, and Focus Wealth Management does the same thing, and move some with that, so that it'll give us more money to work with in the future.
And with the future, the way it's looking right now, things are coming up with us as a town, and this will come in, this will be really worthwhile. So that was good, so, glad we were able to do that. I need a motion a second to approve this resolution.
Make a motion.
Okay. And anybody else have any discussion for this? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
The next is the Focus Wealth Management resolution that I just mentioned. Desiree, could you read this also, this resolution?
Yes, I can. Resolved that the board members, treasurer of this town, or any other such officers are hereby fully authorized and empowered to open a brokerage account, transfer, endorse, sell, assign, set over, and deliver any and all shares of stocks, bonds, debentures, notes, evidences of indebtedness and other securities on margin or otherwise, and to make, execute, and deliver under the corporate seal of this corporation any and all written instrument necessary or proper to effectuate the authority thereby conferred.
One other comment is, New York Class is much easier to move money from, we can do it every day or whatever we want to, where Focus Wealth Management pays probably another 0.25%, but it's a little bit more long-term, 3 to 6 months timeframe, so that's why we're using them.
Okay, can I have a motion and a second to approve the resolution for, Focus Wealth Management?
Make a motion.
Okay, then Kate seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next item tonight, is the Ridge Road Bridge actions. Meeting was held today with engineer, Garrow, attorney Joe McKay, Village Street Superintendent Rob Wyatt, and Sullivan Paving, which installed the temporary bridge that's there now on Ridge Road, that we are renting. As has been previously stated, the town is responsible for the bridge under New York State Highway law. The village was previously serving as lead agency for the project when the plan was to repair the bridge with all costs being shared between both municipalities. The plan has now changed the plan has now changed and has been determined the best way to move forward is to replace the entire bridge. The town will now be assuming full administrative and fiscal responsibility for this project. Grants will be sought and FEMA will be asked for assistance as well. If neither becomes available, then bonding may be necessary. Our attorney Joe McKay is here with us tonight. Do you have anything to add to that right now?
Well, one, Tyler was at the meeting too.
And Tyler, yes.
But I think you summarized it pretty nicely. The town's now going to take over the lead on the project. We're gonna be the lead agency for secret purposes. We'll circulate for lead agency, but I expect that the town ultimately is gonna be the lead agency on this.
You know what, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Brandon,
would
could
you
you
help
give me a mic?
help us out and give me the mic?
Is there not an extra one underneath there, Jeffrey?
I don't know how many we got. There's one right here.
Joe, this means you gotta start over.
I'll start over.
I'd like to point out that you got to include Tyler. Tyler was at the meeting too. I think you summarized it very well. When the project initially started, the village was gonna take control of the project. The village, since it's a town bridge, the village only has maintenance obligation. They don't have an obligation to replace the bridge. So it started out as a repair. The village pursued that. The village designated itself as a lead agency for secret purposes. And it was expected that FEMA would reimburse 100% for the project. As the project went along, that became less clear, and now the village does not expect that FEMA's going to reimburse for the projects. It could still happen, but right now that's questionable. So now, since our town engineers have reviewed the project and spoken to Sullivan Paving and Rob Wyatt, it's become clear that due to the costs involved, the cost to replace the bridge are really not much different from the cost to repair the bridge. So it's decided now to pursue the replacement of the bridge because apparently it has been repaired several times already. So since it's a town bridge, the town will now take over to be the responsible agency for the replacement of the bridge. We met this morning. We will be seeking a grant from the New York State, from the DOT's New York State Bridge Program. There's a certain amount of money allocated to the Hudson Valley for bridge repair, bridge replacement. So the town is going to submit an application to seek some of that funding. There's not a lot of money in that pool, so it's questionable whether the town might receive those funds. So that's the first step. If the town doesn't receive those funds, then the next question would be, or the next step would be to seek bond financing for the replacement of the bridge, and at the same time continue forward with the FEMA application, because the FEMA application, the FEMA funding would be reimbursement funding. So the town would pay for the bridge in the first instance and then seek to get some or as much of the cost reimbursement from FEMA as possible. So the next resolution that the board has in front of it is to essentially explains that to the town will now be the lead agency for, or circulate to be the lead agency for secret purposes, and authorize the supervisor to work with our engineering firm and sign any documents that may be necessary to submit an application to the DOT's New York Bridge Fund. You want me to read it?
Do you have, Joe, do you have a resolution, could you read that?
Yep. Resolution of the town board of the town of Woodbury authorizing the town supervisor to file a grant application for the replacement of the Ridge Road Bridge. And before I continue, my understanding from speaking with the engineer this afternoon, that our engineers are going to make the application and not the grant writer, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Whereas the town owns the Ridge Road Bridge, and whereas the town's consulting engineers, Pittengarrow and Doach, have determined that the Ridge Road Bridge is in need of replacement, including installation of scour protection along the stream channel in the vicinity of the bridge, rather than a repair to the bridge. Whereas the town wishes to make an application to the New York State Department of Transportation's Bridge New York program to obtain funding to replace the bridge. And whereas the town hereby determines that the proposed action is subject to the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, SEQA, whereas the action may involve one or more agencies, and whereas the town preliminarily classifies the action as an unlisted action pursuant to SEQA, and determines that coordinated review of the project is appropriate. Now therefore, it's hereby resolved that the town board authorizes the town supervisor to execute and submit a funding application in coordination with Pittengarrow and Doach to the New York State Department of Transportation's New York Bridge New York Fund. And it's further resolved that the attorneys for the town are authorized and directed to prepare a notice of intent to be lead agency for the project.
Thank you, Joe. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the resolution as prepared?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion at this time? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Secret. No one wants to go over that. Right, there's two.
Yeah, so they're listed separately, I only made one resolution, so that's really just one at the end.
Alright, so move on to, public comment. Does anybody on the public like to come up and make any comments?
Good evening, Maria Hunter, Town of Woodbury. First of all, congratulations, Brandon.
Thank you.
Thank you for running, and looking forward to seeing good feeds come from you, from this board.
Got it.
And I'm happy to see that we have a 5-member board, so great job. And I also want to thank the board for ensuring that when we did the budget last year, that we stayed under 2% cap. Great job on that. I know I didn't say thank you when it was approved, but thank you to the board for keeping that and thinking about our residents. This past season, we've had multiple groups doing different things in the town, village of Woodbury. We have beautification committee, we have the revitalization committee, we have the We Are Woodbury grassroots group. We all mean to do great things in Woodbury, but we need to work together. What's being done with the storefronts and the businesses is a great thing. Mostly Central Valley has most of the storefronts. Ivor Mills doesn't have too many. I'm just, take this for what it is. Town property is town property. If something is to be done on town property, if you're not the right committee or the right department to do the work on it, you need to get permission because you need to have the proper permission. Heaven forbid something happens, someone gets hurt. Anything that's done outside of the four walls of any department, that is the Buildings and Grounds Department Head, Joe Gianzero's responsibility to do anything. As a beautification committee chair and member for the last 14, 15 years, Joe is my department head. He knows what we're going to be doing. I have permission to go onto town property with our committee. If I go onto the committee, anyone who wants to help, as long as the committee member's there, we can do the work on the properties. This sounds petty. We have brand new doors put in at the senior center library building. Beautiful paintings, don't get me wrong. I need to know who gave the permission to do that, because I know it wasn't me, I know it wasn't my department head. Usually if we decorate the buildings, it comes down to beautification with the Buildings and Grounds men who help us. I'm just very discouraged on what people are doing in Woodbury, because we're one, I'm not gonna say town or village, Woodbury. We just can't go ahead and do things on our own without getting the proper permission from whoever owns the building. I'm gonna be taking my plight to the village next week, because there's a committee that they have that's supposedly paid for decorations, which I'm not sure, I have to foil it yet. And they decorate a non-municipal building, which is the Central Valley Library, and all of you know how I feel about this building. I know I see laughing going on in the back room, I don't know what's so funny, do I have something on my face? It's disrespectful to the people in the room that are laughing at each other. Even the town board members have smirks on their face. Disrespect all the way around. You know how I feel about a non-owned municipal property being taken care of and our tax dollars paying for it. I hope that what you're going into executive session tonight, because you're postponing the appointment for library board. You know you have a letter from me that I emailed all of you, or asked to be given to all of you, all my concerns. I'm waiting patiently to hear what's happening. It has to stop. You have to come together, and whoever owns whatever property, so be it, but give permission to do what you have to do without going. I saw that, I was asked, oh, beautification did wonderful jobs. I have no idea what you're talking about. I inquired from the supervisor just today, do you know what's going on? Nope. I don't know what's going on. People are going over, stepping their bounds to go over onto someone else's property. It's not right. And I noticed that Sarah put in a budget mod for $5,000 for attorney fees, which increased from originally $2,000, now it's up to $9,000, now it's to $14,000. Is that to pay for last year's attorney, because they haven't had any submission in the last 3 board meetings for their attorney fees. They know there's been a lot going on back and forth. So I don't know, is she expecting, because they were over budget by $1,300, thereabouts. What's that extra money for? You know, we don't know, but they put all that money into that line item. And I'm sure I'll get an answer in like 2 minutes as soon as I sit down. Thanks to the board for listening to me.
Thank you, Maria.
Teresa Luongo, Central Valley. I was the one that did the painting.
I did not realize that I needed to get permission. I was asked by Sarah from the library. She saw other businesses were doing that. She reached out to We Are Woodbury if we could do it. And that was one of the last ones to be done. I just went and did it. I didn't realize that I needed to get permission. I apologize for that. If you want, I can easily take it down with Windex. It causes no damage to the doors. I didn't paint the doors, I painted the glass, but I'll be happy to take it down if it's an issue. But I thought I was doing something great for the community. I was also involved with the decorating of the library. The revitalization committee asked if anyone would want to help out, since the beautification committee wasn't decorating the library anymore in Central Valley. And I said, sure, I love doing stuff like that, so I did it with a member that works at the library. And we purchased it with money that was either gonna be taken out of the revitalization committee or from, I'm not sure what funds, from the village. So I did it. I have yet to be reimbursed, but I will be, and I'm happily do it again. I think it looks great. Thank you.
It did look very nice, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Louise Mendoza. So as a newbie and a stand pass buyer, however you say that, I just want to say, in this world, there's so much bad being done that if it has to work out as to what needs to be done,
Hold on, just
Did it
press,
go off or did
press
it
the button
battery
on
die?
it.
Test?
No, that big
Is the
button.
battery down?
There you go.
got it, yeah. So I'm just saying, as a newbie, I think that we are on different ends for something that's good. I haven't heard of anything about somebody breaking something or doing some damage to properties. So I'm just, again, as a neutral party, just saying, this is a good problem to have. Let's, as a community, figure it out, ask the permission that we need to ask, but not take parties on beautification.
Well, before you sit down, I just want to personally say thank you again for volunteering your time. I know you travel back and forth from the city, and like so many people in our community, time is is precious to everyone. If you volunteer your time like that for the parks, thank you very much.
Absolutely, I'm excited, and I think that it's hard to find people that want to volunteer their time or their, sorry, I'm a little bit nervous, I don't like public speaking. But, their time, their talents, even their money, it's hard to find that nowadays with this world that we're living in. And I don't really think one side has the reason or it's right or wrong. I just feel it's a good problem to have, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Roll the dice before you go, come sign your forms, okay? Not now.
I'm learning.
Let's do like pictures and all that.
Anyone else? In the back, anybody else? Okay, so, move on to, department head and board member comments. Maria, you're good. Do you have any more, as a department?
Beautification meeting was held here earlier this evening. We're moving forward. I'll be working, I have to reach out to the police department once again with Sergeant Connor, Sergeant Correa. We took the week off with the holidays and other problems going on there. We're looking to revamp the police sign, which the sergeants are very looking forward to having a new sign out there, so we're working on that. We did have the 10 utility poles finally put together in Central Valley, but being that it's such a late date in the season, we didn't put up the pole decorations, which will be put up next year once I sit down with the illustrious highway superintendent and his men, to figure out which utility poles, and we'll have to put up the brackets and everything. We're also working on, due to the cost that we incurred with the utility, the electrical systems for each utility pole, we're purchasing and